After a crazy set of July pay-per-views which featured one of the best pay-per-views in recent memory, the UFC had to do something big to follow this up. UFC 292 is just that, with their return to Boston, with a massive pay-per-view headlined by a heated rivalry between Aljamain Sterling and OMalley, and a co-main event with Zhang returning to face a tough Amanda Lemos. This was alongside a card which featured some returning legends and up-and-coming prospects to make a name for themselves. But did this card live up to the expectations? Let's find out. This is the Fight Franchise and the recap and review of UFC 292. The early prelims began with Marina Moroz taking on Karine Silva, where both women fought on the feet with Silva getting the better of the exchanges. Silva would take down Moroz where she dominated on the ground. Moroz would throw up submissions from bottom, but with 10 seconds left, Silva would lock up a guillotine, and with 1 second left, Moroz tapped. This was a fun fight to start the card, and to get the buzzer beater submission in the first round was a great win for Silva. The next fight, Andrea Lee took on Natalia Silva, where Silva would dominate Lee with some brilliant striking and kicks. Silva would push forward, landing brilliant combos and striking to win an excellent decision victory. The final bout of the early prelims saw Gerald Meerschaert taking Andrei Petroski, where both men threw huge shots looking to finish the fight. The fight was super fun with some grappling intertwined within the contest, with Petroski earning the decision victory. The prelims started with bouts from the Ultimate Fighter to find out the winner of this season of TUF. The first bout would see Brad Katona taking on Cody Gibson in what was the fight of the night in a brilliant war, where they showed true heart and put on a show for the Boston crowd, where Brad Katona won the decision victory in a close and competitive fight to make him a two-time TUF winner. But Dana, impressed by the fight and both guys, has said he will give Gibson more fights in the UFC and sign him up also. A brilliant way to start the prelims. The next fight would be another bout from TUF to find out who was the lightweight winner of the show, with Kurt Holloway taking on Austin Hubbard. Both guys came out throwing punches, with Hubbard opting to wrestle straight away. Hubbard dominated the first round with his grappling and did the better and more damaging work to win the first round. The second round, both men exchanged on the feet. This time Holloway cracked Hubbard where the fight went to the ground. This time Holloway dominated the round. Holloway would cinch up an armbar where Hubbard rolled, and in the transition Holloway would cinch up a triangle choke to secure the tap and become the lightweight winner of TUF Season 31. This was a great fight and win for Holloway, who will have some big fights coming soon in the stacked lightweight division. The next fight, Gregory Rodriguez aka Robocop took on Denis Chilulin. Both guys exchanged on the feet, where Rodriguez, who secured a takedown and landed some nasty ground and pound to finish Chilulin. It did seem some of Rodriguez's shots may have hit the back of Chilulin's head, which slightly takes away from this victory. Nonetheless, it was a brilliant win and performance from Rodriguez. The last bout on the prelims saw the returning Chris Weidman taking on Brad Tavares. Weidman, coming off that horrific leg injury, many didn't know if he would be the same. Tavares came in with a game plan, battering the legs of Weidman to the point he was struggling to walk. Weidman was significantly hurt in the octagon, with Tavares landing wicked leg kicks to earn the dominant victory, which is a huge win for Tavares. As for Weidman, Dana in the post-fight press conference said he would like to see Weidman retire. Now, you don't want to make decisions for people, but when the boss is telling you to hang up the gloves, maybe you should. Or give him one last run out against another aging legend to give him a decent send-off. The main card began with a competitive bout in the men's bantamweight division between Marlon Chito Vera taking on Pedro Munoz. The fight would be back and forth on the feet, with Pedro being the more active of the two fighters over the first and second rounds. The final round is where Chito came alive, piecing up Pedro with a brilliant jab and catching up on the strike count, dominating and beating Pedro on the feet. The fight went to the judges' scorecard where Chito got the nod. This felt like the right call, as in terms of damage dealt, Chito did the more significant and punishing strikes, which deserved him the win. The next fight saw another fight in the men's bantamweight division, which was originally scheduled to be Cody Garbrandt, but he had to pull out. Instead, we got Mario Batista taking on short notice Damon Blackshear. The fight would be competitive across the first two rounds, but most people thought Blackshear had done enough to win the first two rounds. The final round, Blackshear was noticeably tired, as he did just fight 7 days prior, with Mario winning the third round, almost getting a twister at one point. The submission Blackshear got just a week prior. The fight went to the judges' scorecard and Mario Batista would get the win in a close and competitive fight, which many thought Blackshear did enough to win. Nonetheless, it was a close and competitive fight on the feet and on the ground. Ian Gary took on Neil Magny, who replaced Jeff Neal in this bout, with a lot of bad blood and hatred between these two guys around words Magny said at a press conference before the bout. Ian Gary came out and instantly landed a leg kick on Magny's calf and dropped him, which became the story of the fight. Gary would massacre Magny's legs and dominate him over 3 rounds, brutally beating him with leg kicks and brilliant striking to earn a one-sided victory and an excellent win in the brilliant up-and-coming career of Ian Gary. The only thing I and everyone else would have loved loved is a finish to cap off a brilliant win. Nonetheless, it was a dominant beatdown by Ian Garry, who is proving himself as the real deal, and hopefully he gets a huge spot on the MSG card and we can see more of the brilliant Irishman. The co-main event saw Zhang Weili defending her title against the tough and powerful Amanda Lemos. Zhang Weili saw instant success, dropping Lemos in the first round and using her newfound success in grappling to dominate Lemos. Lemos did try and secure the Darce choke from bottom but was unable to cinch it up, with Zhang Weili dominating the rest of the round. This became the story of the fight, with Zhang Weili dominating the rest of the fight whether on the feet or on the ground, with Lemos having flashes of success in the fight, but it was never significant enough. Zhang would win the unanimous decision, and I would love to see her defend the title a bit more and be more active, as there's some brilliant up-and-comers in the women's strawweight who can make this division much more entertaining. The main event saw a heated bout between defending champion and arguable best bantamweight ever, Aljamain Sterling, taking on a brilliant up-and-comer and fan favourite Sean O'Malley. Many gave O'Malley a chance to win, but the consensus on everyone's mind would be that Sterling would grapple and either submit or grind out and win versus O'Malley. The first round was super tentative, with both guys trying to find their range while feeling each other out, with the most significant part being Sterling clinching O'Malley and landing strikes at the end of the round. The second round, Sterling would look for a takedown instantly, with O'Malley defending it brilliantly. As they separated, Sterling would rush him, with O'Malley landing a brilliant pullback counter right hand to hurt and drop Sterling, where he landed ground and pound to secure the amazing win. This was unbelievable and one of the best moments of the year. To see this guy come up from the Contender Series, who was always touted for having this star-making potential, realize his dream and become a champion was surreal. And yes, he may have had an easy path to the title, beating only one guy in the top 10, but he beat Aljo, who was a dominant champion on a 9-fight win streak. As for what's next for Sean O'Malley, who knows? The sky is literally the limit. He has so much potential to become a massive global superstar. He just has to keep winning in the octagon, and the sugar show will keep on rolling. As for Aljo, it was a tough loss, as he never truly got his flowers as a champion, but he is definitely worthy of a rematch. When he takes it, who knows, as it looks like December might be headlined by Sugar Sean and Chito Vera too. That brought the end to a legendary night in Boston. The card was mixed, with prelims having some fun fights and bouts. The main card was a little lackluster and very decision heavy, and if it wasn't for Sugar Sean securing an amazing KO and win, this card could have scored lower. However, if we are going to grade this card, it gets a C. This card was real fun. It just needed some bigger names and stars to add that extra flavour to the night of fights. A very decision heavy main card with a lack of stars brings the grade of the pay-per-view down. However, well done to the Boston crowd for adding that much needed flavour to the card, who were brilliant all night. To be honest, this card will always be remembered as the Sugar Show. To see him go from Contender Series to World Champion has been mind-blowing, as we have seen him grow as a fighter right in front of us. And to realise that potential he had for all those years where he was touted as the next Conor McGregor, to finally be at that level is amazing for Sean, who you can't help but be happy for, seeing him achieve his dreams and change his life forever. This is one for the history books, and a pay-per-view that will always be remembered for this one iconic moment. Did you enjoy the video? Let us know down in the comments below. What did you think of UFC 292 and what would you grade it as a pay-per-view? Put that down in the comments below. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the video and subscribe for more MMA content and fight content coming soon. I hope you enjoyed the video and we'll catch you in the next one.